This content is produced by Darknet Breaker, a cybersecurity and dark web education brand. All videos, posts, and content are strictly for educational and awareness purposes only. We do not promote, support, or encourage any illegal activity. Our mission is to expose digital threats, protect online users, and educate the public about cybersecurity risks in the modern world. Stay ethical. Stay protected.
A pop-up interrupts your work. It asks you to prove you are human by pressing the Windows key plus R and pasting a string of text into the run box. You follow the steps to clear the prompt, but in that second, you've executed a hidden PowerShell script that downloads a remote access Trojan, bypassing enterprise firewall security from the inside. Attackers have found that finding a way through firewall software is often much slower than simply asking a user to help them log in. This data shows how intrusions actually begin. According to Unit 42, identity weaknesses and preventable gaps are responsible for nearly 90% of modern breaches, far outpacing traditional technical exploits. By turning a routine verification check into a payload delivery system, attackers move the point of failure from the network's code to the user's trust. This strategy is the engine behind initial access brokers. These are specialized threat syndicates whose entire business model relies on securing network footholds and auctioning that access off to other criminals on the dark web. Their primary tool is info-stealer malware. Once active, it can extract every saved browser cookie, password, and autofill record from a device in seconds, sending it all back to the broker's database. This schematic shows how an adversary in the middle attack works. The attacker places a proxy server between you and a legitimate service. You enter your password and clear the multi-factor check, but the attacker intercepts the authenticated session token the server sends back. Because the attacker now holds a live authenticated token, traditional MFA cannot recognize the threat or retroactively block them once the session is hijacked. With these session tokens packaged and traded like wholesale goods, a single password is no longer enough to keep a corporate network secure. Groups like Scattered Spider bypass perimeters by targeting the help desk. They pose as employees in a crisis, using social engineering to convince support staff to reset credentials or install remote access software. While some rely on human deception, others use automated exploits like Citrix Bleed 2, a vulnerability used by brokers to target edge infrastructure. This data flow model shows how malformed requests hit a NetScaler edge appliance. The exploit forces the server to leak its memory, spilling out valid session tokens, without the attacker needing to know a single password. Once access is secured, the brokers follow a rigid assembly line. They elevate privileges to system level, install legitimate remote tools, and deploy DragonForce ransomware. Authorities are now targeting this specific infrastructure. Coordinated efforts like Operation Endgame have successfully dismantled the servers used by many of these info stealers and malware strains. Agencies like Europol have taken down hundreds of servers and neutralized over 600 domains, actively disrupting the supply chain that access brokers rely on. Whether an attacker manipulates a help desk worker or exploits a memory leak, the end goal is always identical: obtaining a legitimate session token to log in and deploy ransomware. To stop these logging in attacks, security teams must move beyond standard SMS and push notification authentication. The priority is now phishing-resistant MFA. FIDO2 hardware keys generate unique, device-bound cryptographic credentials. Because the keys never leave the user's physical device, they cannot be intercepted by proxy servers. Organizations should also use enterprise policies to completely disable browser credential storage. This ensures that if a machine is infected with an info stealer, there are no saved passwords for the malware to harvest. The final layer is a zero-trust model that focuses on continuous session evaluation. Authentication must happen every time a user takes an action, not just once at the beginning of the day. Automated containment systems can detect anomalies, like a login outside normal hours, and immediately isolate the behavior before an attacker moves through the network. Because a firewall cannot stop someone holding a valid set of keys, long-term security depends on a system that can continuously protect and authenticate the identity of every user.